Let's go back 80 years. It's the end of an era. The year is 1927 and silent films are on their way out the door. Make way for the talkies. The Artist is a really unique take on this industry change, and it's still changing. But did they do a good job at telling that change? Let's find out. So, besides the obvious that this is in black and white, the first thing you notice about this movie is instead of being in the regular envelope shape, that the frame is usually in, but the 16:9, this movie was shot in a 4:3 ratio. And it gives that really old school look that sets the mood along with every other detail that they could think of that is extremely faithful to the style of silent films. I really enjoyed the cinematography for this. A lot of really great visuals. It spoke for the characters, and with the minimal dialogue, it was always clear what the characters wanted and how they felt. That's more than I can say for most films, and I'll touch back on that in a little bit. The music was also phenomenal in this movie. It was fantastic. The settings, were always well accompanied by music that really set the scene, and the use of sound period in this is extremely clever. It does things where it makes a choice if it's going to use sound in a particular scene, and when it does, it really packs a punch. But now we get to the film's performances, and the performances were great, but they were all thanks a lot to the great direction. And I'm not taking anything away from the performances because they're great, but when there's no voice, you lose a lot of emotion from a performance. And although I don't think the lack of voice hurt these performances at all, I want to reiterate with that, I don't think the loss of voice at all in this movie lost anything from the performances. But the fact that Jean Dujardin, his performance, which was very good in the movie, is getting more recognition than other performances from last year is ridiculous. Like, look at other performances, and even, slightly silent performances, if you will. Andy Serkis as Caesar in Rise of the Planet of the Apes, or Ryan Gosling as the driver in Drive. Those characters, when they spoke, it brought a lot to the screen, and it was really a huge impact. Now, I'm not saying that their performances were way better by fact that they could speak, but in my opinion, I felt more emotion from those actors than I did from Mr. Dujardin. Now, all three of those performances are brilliant, but all I'm trying to really get across is, what I'm saying is, I was not nearly as impressed by his performance as I was with someone else who, is getting the shaft this year and was completely ignored by the Oscars, is Rainn Wilson in Super, whose performance, I think, by far exceeds the performance of Mr. Dujardin in this movie. But I disagree with most of the nominations this year for everything. The Best Leading Actor, one of them most of all. But back to this film, it is really great. Like, everything about it is really great and, speaks a lot of the time that it's from, or trying to, portray. It's really subtle, it's well-paced, and it's masterfully edited, using only classic techniques, and although I didn't love it, that doesn't mean you won't. And that doesn't mean I also didn't really, really like this movie, and don't think that it's fantastic. I think this is a really damn good movie. And I think that you should also get your time to go out there and see it in theaters, because it was definitely meant to be seen in theaters. Now, if you can't catch it in theaters, my recommendation for that is I hope you have a really old TV, because that's how it's meant to be seen. So, I'm going to give this a rating of a really damn good. That would be more like a 4.5 out of 5 or 4 out of 5. Thought it was very good. It just didn't have that extra oomph that made me love it. And that's a personal thing. So please go check out and see this movie. It is really great. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe up there or right there, maybe if it's there. But subscribe, please. Write in the comments what you think. And thanks for watching, guys.